Hello everybody, I'm John Hindorf and it's a warm welcome back to the Michelin 24-hour series. We're in the south of France where the championship is heading into the final stretch of the 2025 season. This is the Michelin 12 Hours of Paul Ricard, the penultimate round and a key stop on the road to the championship. Teams arriving here with everything to play for, no room for error. Strategy, consistency and resilience over half a day of racing will shape the title fight heading into the final round. There's a full grid, multi-class racing as always, 12 gruelling and demanding hours on one of Europe's most distinctive circuits. Welcome to breathtaking endurance racing at Circuit Paul Ricard. Just one more round after this weekend at Paul Ricard as we look towards the end of the Michelin 24-hour season for 2025. So a crucial part of the championship year. Every point earned here will shape the approach to the final round. Bit of a balancing act really. Push for results but manage risk. The title will be decided in September at the 24 Hours of Barcelona, Catalonia. The track is located just up the hill along from the little village of Le Castellet, right in the heart of the Provence-Alpes Côte d'Azur. Circuit Paul Ricard is all about contrasts. Long straights, tight chicanes, flat-out corners and technical hairpins. It's a modern layout and provides great visuals with plenty of overtaking chances. 5.8 kilometres, just over 3.5 miles, 15 flowing corners and the distinctive blue and red runoff zones. It's a track that gives drivers room to race but little margin for error. Tyre degradation will have a huge influence on strategy and I wouldn't be surprised if the race comes alive in the final laps. This is the 5th visit for the Michelin 24-hour series to Circuit Paul Ricard. Let's remind ourselves of what is in store. The action kicks off immediately after the start-finish straight. Heavy braking into turns 1 and 2, a chicane. Expect plenty of side-by-side action, particularly off the green flag here. But it's absolutely essential to make sure that you are at one with the floor of the circuit. Turn 3 is Hotel. Not that difficult, medium speed corner, you can ride the curb in the middle, but then we're into another serpentine section, 4 and 5. And then into the medium speed, long right-hander Saint-Bohème. This leads on to the legendary Mistral Straight. Now it's all about setting up for maximum acceleration and speed here. I wonder how much rear wing the teams will use. One of the longest straights in modern motorsport, high speed, slipstreaming battles, but broken up by the chicane about halfway down. This is the Montreal chicane and provides an opportunity for overtaking on the way in. Get a good exit, that helps you as you climb slightly uphill to the legendary scene. Right-hander, apex just over the brow, and it's nearly flat out, but not quite, really takes some commitment. Then dropping down, Beauzé, named after the nearby town, just off to driver's left there. That's a tighter right-hander. Still dropping slightly downhill into Piff Paff, and then into the penultimate corner, the Lake corner or the Lac corner, and the final and the last corner, the right-hander, is the Bridge corner. Got to be pretty careful getting back on the throttle here. Oh yeah, the French call this Virage du Pont. Et voilà, one lap of the legendary Circuit Paul Ricard. It's time for the first showdown. Competitive running kicks off with qualifying. Much more about just the position on the starting grid. 3 parts, 15 minutes each. A different driver in each of those sessions. The best lap per driver counts. Then they're added together and the fastest average lap time per team, that gets their class pole positions. Qualifying rules and regulations. Drivers, 1 set of Michelin tyres. No refueling allowed within those 15-minute sessions, and basically that's it. So changing tyres, refueling not allowed. An interesting challenge for the drivers, particularly the ones who have to do the 2nd or 3rd sessions. In the GT4 class, the spotlight taken again by Team Venture from Great Britain. They took commanding victories in Mugello and Misano and they're making their intentions for this race clear as well. 2 seconds ahead of their closest rivals, Hannover Motorsport. It's a dominant display from the British outfit. They're here to take the top step of the podium again.
It's quite difficult to manage the tyres, and the temperature in the car is absolutely crazy. But yeah, the guys have been doing amazing. Chris and Nev have been doing an amazing job since we got here. And my personal qualifying was really good. As most of the drivers will know, it's not very often you finish a lap and you genuinely sit there and you're like, I have no idea how I could go any faster. And I managed to do one of those today, and yeah, I'm super pleased with it. The Venture team have done an amazing job. The car feels super hooked up, and yeah, just 12 hours to go.
We have a very different looking battle in the GTX class, and pole position taken by Graf Racing, the ambitious Swiss team. They've arrived with something different, a Nova NP02 prototype. They've qualified ahead of 3 Vortex cars, the first time we've had a trio of the V8 machines in the GTX class.
Yeah, it's our first time for the team here. Also the first time for a Nova car in GTX. And yeah, I mean, that's a great satisfaction. It's very hard, but I think we are very pleased with the car also, because we have to adjust the car to fit this category. And we still have a very pleasant car to drive. So we are all the 3 of us very pleased with it, with our result too. Yeah.
In the ever-competitive 992 class, it's been a week to forget so far for Red Camel Jordan.nl. Early in free practice, they blew an engine which brought their session to a sudden halt. They're not able to take part in qualifying today. That means they'll start the race tomorrow from the back of the field. This is a tough break from a team used to fighting right at the very front. Let's have some details. Here's Paul Truswell.
The engine blew up. There's a big hole in it. If you have ever seen a Porsche 6-cylinder with the engine, there's a big hole in it. We've got a big hole in ours. It wasn't near the end of its life. Porsches suggest we should run for 100 hours. We're nowhere near that. So we're talking to them. We've got a new engine. We're putting that in now. But it means we're going to miss qualifying. We've been given permission to start the race, because it means that we won't have done the qualifying laps required by our drivers. But race direction has been very supportive, and we're going to be able to start the race. We'll be starting from the back, but long race, doesn't matter where you start, matters where you finish.
Third place in the 992 class, qualifying Holmgaard Motorsport in the number 902. Strong showing from the Danish squad, certainly in the mix for the top positions tomorrow. In second place, it's Milner Motorsport with their blue and white Porsche. They've edged out Holmgaard Motorsport by just 0.2 of a second. As ever, a razor-thin margin. One team stands above the rest. The pristine purple Porsche 911 number 888 of Seb Lachou Racing, untouchable in qualifying. The second best time in Q2, and on average, they're nearly 0.4 of a second quicker than anyone else in the field. Quite a dominant performance for the team to beat in the 992 category. Now to the fastest machines here this weekend. GT3, third on the grid, TFT Racing, fresh face in the Michelin 24-hour series. It's their debut outing, and they brought some serious firepower with their Mercedes AMG GT3. They only missed out on the front row by 0.005 of a second. It's a very familiar name in the Michelin 24-hour paddock that lines up in second place. Red Ant Racing from Belgium. Team owner and team principal Bert Radon consistently proving they belong at the sharp end of the grid. One of the most interesting teams on the grid captured pole position. Into Africa Racing by Dragon Racing. A driver lineup that features talents from Africa and the Middle East. They're making waves with their Ferrari 296 GT3. The pace is undeniable. On average, they're half a second quicker than the rest of the field. That's a pretty dominant statement heading into the race. From pole position tomorrow, let's hear from Axel Jeffries, the Zimbabwean racer.
I mean, I'm overall satisfied for the team. Everyone's done a great job. Obviously, this is the first round we're doing as Inter Africa Racing with Dragon Racing. So to come here and put it on pole, it's very nice. I think my teammates did mega. Khalid was great. It's his first time racing in Europe. Ramez, as always, was amazing, and then they made it easy for me. So I didn't have as many laps as I wanted to because we let them run a bit longer, but it was more than good enough for pole, so I'm happy.
The countdown to 12 hours of racing has begun. Good morning, welcome to Saturday. The paddock is quiet, preparations are complete. Now, all about focus for every team, every driver and every fan who are holding their breath in anticipation. For the past few days, it's been a blur of strategy meetings, setup changes, tyre choices, but now the attention is all on the grid. The final moments of calm before engines roar to life. The tension is unmistakable, the pressure is real, the unknowns are many, but everyone's mission is clear. Make it to the end and make it count. Dana Binks on the grid with our pole sitters into Africa Racing.
I think at the end with racing, we were just going to give it our all every single lap. The most important thing with endurance racing is just no mistakes, keeping the car in one piece, and yeah, just try to be consistent, and then we'll see where we are after 12 hours.
Alongside them on the front row, the Red Ant Racing team have high hopes as well.
We're going to try to win it. So that is always the approach of our team. It's always been like that. And after qualifying, we're fairly happy. It's getting a habit to be on second place. We'll try for next race to be on first position for one time. But apart from that, being on the front row is always good.
Beautiful weather in the south of France, but that means track temperatures are rising. Let's hear from Kobe de Bruyke from Red Ant Racing. Here's Diana.
Yeah, quite important, especially if it's going to be 34, 35 degrees as today. In the car it will be, I think, twice as hot. I don't know exactly, but yeah, then you have to be physically quite fit. And mentally, yeah, just don't think about the heat. Just think about the track, think about your lines, your references, and don't bother about the warmth. You will get out after 1 hour, 1.5 hours, maximum 2 hours. So that will be good.
In endurance racing, always a myriad of factors at play. Fuel strategy, traffic management, driver fatigue, the heat and the tyres.
Well, for sure the heat, because you have to manage the tyres somehow just to survive, but still keep the pace, because as you can see during the qualifying, the rhythm and the speed of the other cars is really, really big and really high, so we have to really push a lot. So during even that's 12 hours race, you still have to do a qualifying lap by qualifying lap, so you really have to push a lot, but still manage the tyres and fuel, which will not be easy during these super high temperatures, and otherwise, yeah, just survive, because it won't be easy.
Graf Racing newcomers on the Michelin 24-hour series grid. A special kind of tension for them and excitement.
Yeah, no, I think we are quite comfortable with the car. So the main issue now it will be whether our car will last 12 hours.
Let's remind ourselves of the front of the grid. Pole position into Africa by Dragon Racing, joined on the front row by the quick and consistent team of Red Ant Racing. Row 2, TFT Racing on the inside with Sontolok Junior team alongside them in 4th. 5th and 6th sharing row 3. 2 experienced teams, Proton Huber Competition and the Czech Scuderia Praha. And rounding out the top 8, Continental Racing by Simpson Motorsport and Prime Speed Sport team. The field completing the formation lap. It's very, very hot here. Plenty of anticipation. Safety car lights are out. Endurance racing, brutal, beautiful, and utterly unforgiving. Watch for the red lights to go out just over the brow. They're off now, and we're racing. The Michelin 12 hours of Paul Ricard is underway. Down to turn 1, the pole sitting Ferrari. Axel Jeffries holding the inside line on driver's left. Here comes Sontolok down the inside. That is very bold indeed. Elia Earhart in that Audi up to seconds. Almost caught Kobe de Bruyke in Red Ant Racing slightly by surprise. No crashes in this early phase. That's good news. Everyone funneling through onto the serpentine run at the far end of the circuit. Everybody fighting for every inch. Really tight in the midfield as well. No margin for error here. The pack shuffling as the field stretches down to the Mistral Straight, and 12 hours of racing lying ahead of us. Early doors we see, I think the tone's been set, aggressive, fast and fearless. Manuel Lauck in the striking orange and purple Proton Huber competition Porsche, number 73, trying to make a move. 5th position at the moment. He's got a good run though as they're heading up towards Scene. Onto the start-finish line, and that Porsche has made that position. Comes up alongside and goes through. New 4th place car. Lauck 4th, De Bruyker down to 5th. Not the starts that Red Ant Racing team were hoping for. They, remember, were on the front row when the lights went out. So, here's the new order. Into Africa Racing from Paul in the lead. Santaloc Junior Team 2nd, TFT Racing in 3rd, and Proton Huber Competition in 4th. Red Ant down 3 to 5, and Continental Racing in 6th. In 7th place, the 2nd Ferrari, that's Scuderia Praha. 8th, Era Motorsport from the US. 992 Paul sitting. Seblaju Racing down to 4th position. Carlos Rivas has not had a great start, but he's got nearly 12 hours to recover. Plenty of time to fight back. Axel Jeffries is pulling away. 3 seconds now between him and the chasing pack. Not an easy run into the race for Viper Nisa Racing. They weren't even sure they'd make it to the grid today.
So with the accident yesterday during qualifying, we thought initially it was not that terminal, but upon checking, when we got the car back, the chassis is gone. So the rear and the front are gone. So we thought that our race would be paid for the day, for the week, but we asked around with some of the other teams, and one of the teams actually offered us the car for rent. So we took it, and fortunately they had testing the day that we were testing, so we knew that the car runs well. It was doing good timing, so yeah, we struck a deal, and we're now racing with their car. Unfortunately, the livery, we don't have enough tickets for the livery, but yeah, just watch out for the black car, black Mercedes AMG.
What an incredible story this is. The 24H Series, renowned for its spirit of fairness and sportsmanship. The All-Malaysian team are out on the track. They've borrowed the spare car from Red Ant Racing. Moments like these that truly define endurance racing at the Michelin 24H Series. 20 minutes gone, the action's heating up behind Into Africa, who've broken away. Joseph Kral is at the wheel of the number 56 Scuderia Praha Ferrari. He's been on a charge so far. Started from 6th, he's up to 3rd, setting times in the 2 minutes 3 range. That's 1 or 2 seconds faster than anyone on the track at the moment. The distinctive markings on the side of Paul Ricard, those are high grip tarmac areas, so if you do go off, it slows you down. It's a sort of replacement for gravel traps. Meantime, in the battle for 2nd position, Josef Kral now right with Elia Earhart in the Audi number 18. He's got traffic. Oh, brilliant manoeuvre around the outside. On the cutback now, the silver, yellow and black number 56 goes through. 2nd place for the Czech driver. Manuel Lauck closing in, and the 73 Proton Huber competition has a grandstand view of it all. Lauck closing in now in the blue and orange Porsche. Is there an opportunity here for him to go past that Audi? Down the inside, yes there is, uses the curb. 2 places lost for the Santaloc Junior team, and the race is still just getting started. So, Nico Bastian in the black and yellow TFT Racing Mercedes in 3rd. Manuel Lauck, Proton competition in 4th. Elia Earhart in the Santaloc Junior team Audi now back in 5th position. Up at the front, it's Axel Jeffries. Totally unfazed by the battles that are going on behind him. He's calm, composed and consistently quick. Clean laps being strung together. He is now over 6 seconds to the good at the lead of the race. 45 minutes completed. Here's a look at the other classes. 3 Vortex 2.0s on the GTX class grid, joined this weekend by the Nova MPO2 prototype from Graf. Now that car is very quick, and Race Control added 100 kilograms. That's basically my weight of ballast. Let's hear a little more about this extraordinary race car. Here's Sebastian Page with Joe Bradley.
Now it's quite similar to LMP3. Yeah? It's the main difference. It's the weight of the car. It's lighter than LMP3. It weighs about between 650 and 700 kilo compared to LMP3, which will be doing around 850, something like that, 850. That's a difference. The other difference, it's still a V8 engine. Well, obviously not the same engine, but still a V8 engine, which is a 4-liter Ford V8 engine, turbocharged. Then the maximum power you can get out of these engines is 450. That's what we are using when we're doing, for example, the Ultimate Cup Series. But now to bring the car to allow a performance to be able to participate to this championship, then we had to bring down the power of the engine down to 390 for 400 kilo. Then we had to take the upper part of the rear wing also, to take it away, to make the car with a lower downforce. Also all the floppy at the front, we have to take them away. So basically, for example, on this track, the car is probably losing about 6 seconds compared to if we were in a real setup of the car. This is the idea and the strategy. I mean, we are the first team. We work with Nova, with the manufacturer, to adjust the car to be able to to have still a good car to drive, but to be able to participate to this event. And I think that all our competitors in other category are today watching us on this race to see what it is, what it feels like. But I think that it's a very positive. So far it's been very positive. Yeah.
At the front of the GT4 class, Team Venture from pole position still holds sway, the number 421. Behind them, Mark Verhoeven of Hannover Motorsport battling hard. Just can't match the pace of Matthew George. The BMW doesn't seem to have the speed of the Mercedes right now. Just over an hour gone. First round of scheduled pit stops has seen race leader Axel Jeffries in the Ferrari come into the pit lane for fresh tyres and more fuel. So that leaves Josef Kral in the Scuderia Praha Ferrari battling with Nico Bastian of TFT Racing for the lead of the race. Of course, they both do need to come into the pits as well. And in fact, they both come in together. So a little bit of a truce as they come into the pit lane for service. 992 class, fierce battling as always. The 909 Dutch family Breukers team outing, redcameljordans.nl. It's been an impressive comeback. Remember, they started at the back of the field after an engine change. Rick Breukers has put in his usual hotshot performance.
Yeah, it was a quite a long stint, so we had some time to make up the places. But really happy with the first stint. But it's a long race. Physically, it's quite challenging because you cannot really cool down. Our fan at the middle is not working really well, so it's extra tough for us. And apart from that, the high track temperature does make it quite slippery on the tires.
It's the red and white Lion Speed number 957 that is second at the moment in the Porsche 992 class. They've come up through the fields, started in 7th, now in 2nd, but they're chasing a 25-second advantage that Müllner Motorsport has in the 992 class. Martin Rum delivered a flawless first stint, and Julian Hanses has now taken over and is leading comfortably. The Michelin 24-Hour Series attracts drivers and teams from all around the world. Some very special and charismatic characters in the paddock. This season, Indian Kollywood superstar Ajit Kumar has joined the grid. He's been competing throughout the 2025 season with Ajit Kumar Racing, his own team. What a blend of star power and racing passion. Here he is with Joe Bradley in the pit lane.
Very content, especially we as a team felt gutted after Misano, after losing out the P1. So we came in here with absolutely no expectations, and we were happy. We also test drove the Mercedes AMG car, and so got a lot of track time because of that. And of course, looking forward to the Creventic Porsche Cup car, which is very important to us. And yeah, very pleased. And yesterday, we did have we were at a crossroad in terms of setting up the car. You know, I think we drivers wanted a different setup and Red Antwerp, but we managed to find amicable, mutual understanding. And I feel blessed to have such a fan following. I come from a very modest background, a lovely family, parents, siblings, my wife, my children. I couldn't do all this without their support, you know. And then the fans who watch my films have started following motorsports, and vice versa. The motorsport fraternity is starting to take an interest in Indian films now, so yes. I'm happy if it's a win-win situation for everybody concerned. But at the end of the day, I just want motorsports to be as popular as cricket back in India. Yeah.
2 hours into the race and through the pit stop cycle, things have changed. Scuderia Praha, the number 56 car, sitting at the front of the field. Here's Josef Kral. Let's hear how the race has gone so far for them.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty hard work, but overall, you know, we wanted to do the double stint, which was a bit longer, but we gained some time, so we'll see how it goes now. Probably I will do it 2 times more, so I still have to keep some energy for the rest of the race, because my limit is 6 hours, so I cannot do more, so I will be trying to maximize my time in the car. Because the car is pretty nice, it's decent, the speed is fine. I mean, you have to work hard to make the lap time, because it's really hot, and it will be even hotter. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. At the moment it's quite smooth, and I had nice racing in the beginning of the race, so I enjoyed it a lot.
Haas RT from Antigua and Barbuda won the Michelin 12 Hours of Misano, but this race not going to plan so far. Qualified in 12th, they've moved up to 7th at the moment. They'll need to push hard if they want to get back into contention. Team Proton Huber haven't had much luck at the start of the race either. Manuel Laut gained a few places in the first stint, but they're still a little bit off the pace. The Porsche back into refueling. The length of the pit lane here at Paul Ricard is quite long. Pit strategy playing an even bigger role in shaping the outcome of the race than normal. It's even worse actually for Proton Huber. They've got a 20-second time penalty to serve. That will take them down the field, P18, as they come into the pit lane. Santalog Junior Team Audi number 18 gaining ground to Scuderia Praha in the lead at the moment. It's Pierre Caffer who's behind the wheel. He knows about driving fast. He's a Nürburgring 24-hour winner, amongst other things. And he's really carving his way through the traffic, not taking unnecessary risks. Second at the moment and 18 seconds behind the race leader. The lead continually, it seems, changing due to the different pit strategies. Leader again now into Africa Racing. The number 98 Ferrari was on pole position, back to P1 at the moment. Scuderia Praha into the pits a few minutes ago. However, in GT4, Team Venture, GB team continuing to lead, and they are still comfortably ahead of Hannover Racing. 3 British drivers in the British team. Super professional performance, calm, consistent and composed. They've not really had anybody pushing them so far. 4 hours completed, and right at this point in the pit stop cycle, it's Scuderia Praha who are back ahead of Inter Africa Racing. Then Red Ant Racing and Haas RT coming up into contention in 4th place. Santalog in 5th, Continental Racing in 6th, the Aston Martin of E2P Racing in 7th, 8th Prime Speed Sport, Proton Huber competition back in the top 10 in P9, and Mulner Motorsport is the first 992 class car in 10th. Outside the battle for the overall positions, the last 90 minutes has been dramatic in the GTX class. It looked like a steady race, and Graf Racing, leading comfortably, have had a huge setback, a broken power steering belt. They spent 28 frustrating minutes in the pits. That left the trio of Vortex machine with advantage, but they've had their own string of problems, multiple mechanical issues and a series of spins, all costing them time. Right now, it's car 703 that's in the lead in GTX, seizing the opportunity when it mattered most. My goodness me, that's the leader. Stopped on the track. And their lead, their commanding lead, has evaporated. Incredibly, this will bring out the first code 60 of the race. This is our safety procedure in the Michelin 24-hour series, managing on-track incidents. Everyone slowing down to 60 kilometers an hour, no overtaking. Now, unlike a safety car, this means we don't bunch up the field, keeps the gaps between the cars consistent, and it allows the marshals to have a quick and safe response to the incidents. Oh my goodness me. Into Africa Racing on the back of the flatbed. A devastating blow for Into Africa Racing, the newcomers in the series. 18 seconds clear they were of the number 69 of Continental Racing. It's gone now, but they will be able to get that car repaired, we hope, and back racing again. I don't believe it. It's another class leader in trouble on the track. GTX and the 703 Vortex. Well, this has been an hour of drama, haven't it? Surely the heat must be taking its toll now. It's very, very hot out there. Let's go down to the pit lane. Joe Bradley is with Philippe Bonnell from the team.
I don't have any details, but the result is that the gearbox is broken on this one. Yeah, exactly. That's a gearbox oil, yes.
And just like that, the whole leaderboard has been shuffled after two code 60s relatively quickly. It's Continental Racing and the number 69 Audi that leads. The British squad have been sort of flying under the radar in the first 5.5, 6 hours, but maybe this is the moment they have been waiting for. You can say the same for Haas RT, now second position for the first time. Only 3 pit stops for them so far. They owe us their next visit to the lane shortly, but the Caribbean team is back in the mix and back in contention. I've got some better news. If you're following Into Africa Racing, the pole-sitting Ferrari has spent 25 minutes in the pits, but it's going back into the race now. Diana Binks is with the team manager.
So unfortunately mechanical issues. We've came back in and managed to fix it with some of the settings within the car. So now we're back out and off we go, but unfortunately we've lost 10, 12 laps from what was ultimately the lead of the race. So big shame. So, most importantly is their drivers getting very hot. Thankfully the Ferrari has really good AC, so they're keeping nice and cool in there. And then for the rest of the crew, I mean the limits on everything on the car are as high as they'll go for the temperatures. But it's nearly 40 degrees. Track temperature is nearly 55. It's just very warm today.
Another GTX leading car with problems, missing out the Michelin chicane on the Mistral straight. It's crawling back to the pits. This is the number 701 car. It could not be worse. All 3 Vortex cars in the garage. I wonder if they've even got enough mechanics to work on all of them at one time. Incredibly, Graf Racing are back in the lead of GTX. Somewhat against the odds. 10 laps down at one stage on the Vortex squad. Remarkable and unforgettable debut in the Michelin 24 hours for the French team with that Nova MPO2. In typical Vortex spirit, they have got one of their cars back into the race. No matter what the setbacks, they always keep pushing forward. Running like clockwork, a textbook race so far for Team Venture in the GT4 class with their AMG GT4 Mercedes. Smooth, consistent and fast. I hope I'm not putting the curse of the commentator onto them, but they've had slick pit stops, spot on strategy. 6 laps now, the advantage over Hamafa Motorsport. Victory starting to seem a reality. Now missing yesterday's qualifying and starting from the back of the field, Red Camel Jordan.nl. 6.5 hours to come to the front of the 992 class. What an outstanding performance from the team. The job's not finished though. They've got a scheduled pit stop just around the corner. At the front of the field, another fierce battle for second place. Denis Vacek in the number 56 Scuderia Praha Ferrari, trying to hold off Klaus Bachner in the Proton Porsche. Klaus, the pro driver. Vacek caught in traffic. Yes, beautiful stuff from Backler. He read that perfectly. Pure racing instinct there. Backler back into second place. Now Backler in the lead for the third time in the race. Proton Huber competition, we're down in 18th at one spot. They've not panicked. They've executed their plan. And having taken the lead, pulling away 6 seconds clear of Scuderia Praha and 50 seconds ahead of Red Ant Racing. And they're due for a pit stop too. So actually, that lead is growing even more. So Red Camel Jordan have taken their scheduled pit stop. So Milner Motorsport back in the lead of 992. Got to say their strategy looks pretty spot on at the moment with 5 hours of the race to go. That's the Hoffer Mercedes in the wall. The number 11 should not be over there on the far side of the track. That could have major consequences. Is there steering damage? Oh, dear me. What drama. That's a code 60. Race slowing down as the marshals are responding to the incident. Now, let's see if we can work out what caused the crash. It's Michael Kroll behind the wheel, coming out of Beauzet. Maybe just a little bit too quickly. The rear stepping out and hitting the wall. And yeah, there is steering damage there as well. So right rear and right front suspension or steering arm damage at the front, I think. That looks like the chances of a victory is gone for Huffer Racing. Now this code 60 has worked quite well for some of the leading runners. Perfect moment for the leaders to drive into the pits. That means you'll not lose as much ground. Although Proton Huber competition, here they are in the pit lane. They can only take 25% of their usual allowance because they're a pro team. It's a strategic compromise that has to be thought out. Now that's the Lamborghini moving slowly. The Huracan GT3 from RD Sainz, the number 96, coming out of the pits. It hasn't got back up to speed. Oh, frustration in the pit lane. Perfect timing for TFT Racing. They'd just taken a full tank under green flag conditions. Now they can do the rest of their pit stop while the field is slowed down. A lucky move, perhaps, that will earn them some precious time. Proton Huber competition also playing their strategy well. Coming out of the code 60, they've retained the race lead and pulled out over 2 minutes ahead of Continental Racing. Smart decisions, quick decisions in the pits, key in endurance racing. It's been a tough day for Vortex so far. On home soil, the 701, another technical issue. Back into the garage once again. The hardest working mechanics in the pit lane are determined to get the car back out. Now trailing the GTX Graph Racing leaders by 11 laps. Just 4 hours to go. Is this mission impossible for Vortex? Well, a dramatic middle portion of the race. Here's how it stands after 8 of the 12 hours. Proton Huber competition, a full lap now ahead of Red Ant Racing in second. The 69 Continental Racing by Simpson Motorsport Audi in third. Then Scuderia Praha in fourth. Aston Martin ETP Racing holding on to fifth ahead of TFT Mercedes in sixth. Then Santaloc Mulner, the leader in 992, well inside the top 10. Prime Speed Sport and Era Motorsport in the Ferrari making up the top 10. 2/3 of this 12-hour race gone, and the toll is starting to show mechanically. The grueling conditions have pushed many of the cars like the Line Speed Porsche and the 702 Vortex right to their limits. There's been spins, close calls and collisions. It's not just the drivers that suffer, of course. The cars are looking a little the worse for wear as well. I would think hundreds of metres of ductates have been used to keep some of the cars in one piece. Yannick Red Ant putting in an impressive stint in the second place Red Ant Racing AMG GT3. Even under pressure, he's been consistent. 30 seconds now behind the race leader, still in contention. On the pit stop cycle, Yannick Red Ant actually comes into the pit lane in the lead of the race. But we're hearing from race control, it will be a 28-second stop and go penalty for exceeding the pit lane speed limit. That's an unnecessary mistake. It won't sit well with team boss Bert Redon. That penalty now the least of the worries for Red Ant and the AMG. Damage to the left front of the car, the Michelin tyre smoking because the bodywork is rubbing on it. This is another setback in what's been a difficult phase of the race for the team. Now, Ayrton Redon talking to the team, and he says he wants to stay out. Whatever was rubbing seems to have worked itself free for now.
Yeah, it was from a previous accident. We know the bumper was a little bit loose. And yeah, there was a possibility it came down, and now that happened in an instant.
It's Ayrton Redon behind the wheel now of that damaged AMG. Vasily Vladikin in the Continental Racing Audi is right with him. Not sure whether it's a handling issue or maybe just the aero actually on the front of that Mercedes that's slowing it down, particularly down the long Mistral straight. And actually, Vladikin goes through quite easily as they brake into the Montreal chicane halfway down that long Mistral. So that's second place now for Continental. At the front of the field, the lead is flip-flopping between Klaus Bachler from Proton Huber and Vasily Vladikin as they come in and out of the pits for their scheduled stop. At various times, Red Ant Racing are back in the lead. The clock is ticking down, and it's a similar story in the 992 class. The lead continuing to change between Holmgard Motorsport, Mulner Motorsport and Red Camel Jordan.nl. A tight battle there, and again all on the pit stop cycle. Just inside the final hour, crunch time at the Michelin 12 Hours of Paul Ricard. Manuel Lauk into the pits, what should be their final scheduled stop for the Proton competition. Porsche AM Plus driver Mark Wallenveen bringing home the car. He's got the honour of driving to the checkered flag. 15 seconds is the gap. But Kirby de Bruyke in the Red Ant Racing AMG, one final stop to make. I think the gap's going to be all right. Battle for victory in full swing. In the other classes, however, a little clearer. Team Venture has been absolutely brilliant today. A well-earned win. 9 laps the gap now over Hamoffer Racing. A dominant performance from the British squad in GT4. Mind you, in GTX, what drama! Mechanical issues have kept the leaderboard in a constant state of flux. Past 8 hours or so, Graf Racing have held firm at the front with their Nova NPO2. A 23-lap lead over the nearest Vortex. Tighter in the 992 class, every second still counting. Mulner Motorsport having the edge. They seem to have had the best pit strategy. That might get them the win. Sun beginning to set. Less than an hour on the clock. The race in its final phase. Drivers who've been pushing for hours now have an entirely new challenge. Nighttime, temperatures dropping, track conditions changing, tyre performance shifting, visibility a constant battle. The headlights cutting through the growing darkness, but it's difficult to get your depth perception correct and braking points become harder to judge. This is where experience pays off. Mistakes tend to be magnified in the dark. One misjudged corner, one missed cue. Hours of effort can vanish in a moment. As is tradition in the Michelin 24-Hour Series, one team recognised before the checkered flag with the Spirit of the Race Award. Today, that goes to the All-Malaysian squad, Viper Nisa Racing. They crashed their Mercedes in qualifying. The team went above and beyond, renting and building up a new car overnight just to make the start. A remarkable display of determination and true endurance racing spirit.
You and your team, you came all the way from Malaysia. Yesterday you had a horrible crash. Actually, it was game over for you. Yeah. And then the team decided to go to look for a car. Yeah. They find a car and they go back racing. Yeah. And that is what Spirit of the Race is all about. And that's why this trophy is for you and the team. Spirit of the Race was never giving up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Come here.
Come on. There you go. What does that mean to you?
Ooh, this is really good because with hard work, the guy do yesterday, and then we get racing. Oh, no, he's right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys, and thanks for all your hard work.
An Ajit Kumar Racing, the mechanics are working hard, battling an issue on the left rear of the car. Oh, the expressions on the faces, I think, tell the story. Just 18 minutes from the checkered flag, and it's game over for Ajit Kumar Racing. Fourth in the 992 class at the time, still in the fight for the podium. A disaster and a heartbreaking exit so close to the checkered flag. Disaster for the Sontlock Junior team, a massive engine failure. The V10 of the Audi R8 LMS has exploded. Huge clouds of smoke from the back of the car. Elia Earhart quickly pulling off the circuit, making sure he's with marshals who have fire extinguishing equipment. A dramatic and unfortunate end to the race. Well, this could bring the Code 60 out, just 15 minutes to the checkered flag. Certainly Mark Vallenvine in the Proton Huber Porsche wouldn't mind. He's got a slim 5-second advantage over Kobe De Bruyker from Red Ant Racing. De Bruyker, the faster of the two. So if we do get back to green, Kobe will certainly be closing in. Focused right in on the victory. Still under Code 60 and more drama. The Lion Speed GP 957. Flames from the back of that car as well from the exhaust. Jose Garcia has not come into the pit lane. I don't think he's noticed the issue. He's leaving burning debris across the start-finish line. Now parking the car at the track side, and the marshals there. Very well done. Somebody shouting there, get it out of the way so we can go back to green flag racing. Just 6 minutes to go on the straight. There's the gap between first and second. Five seconds under green flag, a little more at Code 60 speed. Still the purple flags. There's a green light. Green light. We're back racing again. Kobe De Bruyker gets on the power very, very early indeed. Mark Vallenvine inside ahead. 11 hours and 55 minutes, and we have a 5-minute sprint to the checkered flag. What a finale here at Paul Ricard. Is there enough time for De Bruyker to get within striking distance to the leader? The Red Ant Mercedes AMG being pushed to the limit here. Every last piece of performance being squeezed out of the car. Vallenvine in traffic, he's in problems. Oh, De Bruyker is looming closer. Headlamps flashing from the race leader, trying to wake up the cars ahead of him. Every second counts, and the atmosphere is absolutely electric. Vallenvine holding the gap back to the leader. Where is the checkered flag? All of the Proton Huber garage looking at the screens, coming through now. It is absolute torture for those in the Porsche garage. Final lap now. A few corners standing between the team and a monumental victory in the Michelin 12 Hours of Paul Ricard. There's the checkered flag. What a run to the flag. What a race here in the south of France. Proton Huber competition take it in second place after a epic battle. Red Ant Racing, and in third TFT. Fireworks lighting up the night sky. Perfect ending to an unforgettable race. A spectacular pinnacle to crown a truly thrilling edition of the Michelin 12 Hours of Paul Ricard. Time to honour the winners in the other categories. Team Venture, an unrivaled start to finish victory in GT4. Great race as well for Graf Racing. What a debut in the Michelin 24-hour series. They take the GTX class 23 laps ahead of the Vortex. Top step of the podium in the 992 class for Müllner Motorsport at the end. A margin of a lap to Holmgaard in second. Now to the winning team. Here's Jörg Dreisau.
2 tenths for me. Yes. 2 tenths for me. I don't know, a few seconds after 12 hours. So many emotions flowing through my body. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Such a win is always a big team event. Everybody, the mechanics, the driver, the tire man, everybody, it's emotional. It's very good art.
Honestly, we wait until the last minute because it was so. Let's say it was not even an opportunity that we can slow down or have any margin. So we pushed until the end and we won. Yeah.
Heroic victory for Proton Huber competition as Mark Valentine brings the car back to Parc Fermé. Second place for Red Ant Racing. Here's Kirby de Bruyke with Joe.
Yeah, of course, we had less downforce on the front, so we had a massive understeer. Most noticeable in Senior. Senior was, I had to brake now, and before it was just a small lift. So, we lost half a second to a second a lap because of the damage.
First of all, thank you very much for the great words. This will take some time to sink in. For sure, Müllner has been great all season. We've had our share of bad luck, as much as you can have in this sport. We came here, we had basically zero prep. We had a broken wheel nut in the free practice, only one lap in, one set of brakes done, and then straight to qualifying. It was like we came here, we showed up, and then we conquered it. So I'm so proud of the team. I'm so proud of Julian and Walters. They've been waiting for it for long, and now we finally have the first win of the season.
12 hours behind us, time to celebrate. In third place, Team TFT Racing, impressively proving they belong among the best. Second to Red Ant Racing, pushing hard from the first stint to the very last minute of the race. And at the top, a team that knows what it takes to win. Impeccable execution, unwavering pace, and nerves of steel for the finish. Proton Huber competition. A reminder of the top 10 for the Michelin 24-hour series and the Michelin 12 hours of Paul Ricard. Proton Huber competition ahead of Red Ant in second, TFT in third, just off the podium in fourth. The best of the Audis, Continental Racing in fifth, the Ferrari of Scuderia Praha sixth, to the only Aston Martin on the grid, E2P Racing from Spain, Era Motorsport in seventh, Team Viper Nisa Racing eighth place with a borrowed car, what a story that was. Müller Motorsport win the 992 class in ninth overall, Holmgard Motorsport round up the top 10. Paul Ricard, 12 hours, countless challenges, an unbelievable race through heat and fatigue, sunlight and darkness, and with an unforgettable finish. Behind every pass, every pit stop, every lap was a team, a dream, and the will to never give up. A story that was written in speed, struggle, and the spirit of endurance. But the story's not over. End of September, the 24-hour series reaches its final chapter at the legendary Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. One last chance, one last battle. I'm John Hindhoff. See you there.